Hello friends, I am Amit Belekar from Tips and Tricks by AMB. Welcomes you to my channel. Before moving further, if you still didn't subscribe to my channel, please click on subscribe button and click on bell icon to get notifications of all my new videos. Today in this presentation, we are going to discuss about second part of pharmacokinetics, that is distribution of drugs. After going through this video, the learner will be able to define distribution of drug, describe factors affecting distribution of drugs, and describe significance of plasma protein binding. So first we are discussing what is distribution of drugs. Once the drug enters the bloodstream, it should reach different organs of our body. This movement of absorbed drug from blood, that is systemic circulation, to the different organs of our body is called as distribution of drugs. Distribution process starts with escape of drug from the walls of site of administration and ends with the penetration or entry of drug into the tissue or organs. Initially, the tissue has no drug, but drug is present in blood. Thus, concentration gradient is in the direction of plasma to tissue. Body fluid acts as a solvent or carrier for distribution of these drugs. In blood, drug either dissolves in the serum or get bound to the plasma constituents or blood constituents like albumin, globulin, erythrocytes, etc., and get distributed all over the body. The extent of distribution of drug, that is concentration which is reaching to the specific tissue of our body or organ of our body, it depends upon lipid solubility of drugs, ionization status of the drug at physiological pH, extent of binding to plasma proteins, extent of binding to the tissue proteins, and differences in the regional blood flow. Now we will discuss factors affecting distribution of drugs. Distribution pattern of drug is affected by various factors like protein binding, pathological conditions, and structure of different barriers which are present in our body. First factor we are discussing is protein binding. Drug is distributed by binding with plasma protein. Bound drug is not able to cross the wall. Only free, that is unbound drug, is able to cross the wall. Movement of drug continues till equilibrium between free, that is unbound drug in plasma, and unbound drug in tissue takes place. When free drug goes to the tissue, as per proportion, bound drug becomes free, and again that free drug or unbound drug moves into the tissue as per equilibrium again. Drugs extensively bound to plasma protein are largely restricted in vessels, and they are having low value in the tissue. For example, phenylbutazone and warfarin, these are the drugs which are extremely bound to the plasma protein. That's why these are restricted mostly into the vessel, and they can reach in the tissue in very low concentration. Drugs which are bound to the tissue protein are present in higher concentration in tissue, and its plasma concentration is low. For example, digoxin, if you see, digoxin is having high bounding ability to the proteins which are present in the cardiac muscles, and that's why digoxin is highly concentrated. We can found high concentration of digoxin in cardiac muscle or heart. Now we will discuss main binding which affects distribution of drug is plasma protein binding. Most drug possess physicochemical affinity for these plasma proteins. Acidic drug generally binds to the plasma albumin and basic drugs binds to acid glycoprotein present in the plasma. Binding of albumin is quantitatively more important because most of the drugs bind to plasma albumin even though they are basic in nature. So binding with albumin is very important. Extent or amount of binding depends on individual compound. So individual compound is having its affinity towards these proteins, and depending upon that the extent of binding can be decided. Now we will discuss significance of plasma protein binding. What this plasma protein binding leads to the distribution pattern of various drugs. First significance is that highly plasma protein bound drugs remain more in vessels and less distributed in tissue. Already before some time we had discussed this point that the drugs which are highly bound to plasma protein, they can remain more in vessel and they are less distributed in the tissue. Second fraction is that the bound fraction is not available for action as it cannot cross the capillary membrane. Only free drug can cross capillary membrane or vessel wall. But this bound fraction is in equilibrium with the free drug in the plasma. It dissociates when concentration of free drug is reduced due to its movement into the tissue. So whenever free drug enters into the tissue, the equilibrium between free and bound drug in the plasma it gets affected, and because of that some drugs which are already bound to the plasma protein, they can be displaced from the protein and they become free and then they enter into the tissue again. Thus this protein binding act as a temporary storage of drug. So that is the second significance of plasma protein binding. Plasma protein binding act as temporary storage of drug. Next significance is that high degree of protein binding generally makes drug long acting. If drug is having high degree of binding with the plasma protein, that drug, its duration of action is long. Why? Because bound drug is not available for metabolism or excretion, and that's why drug remains in body for longer duration and thus its duration of action can be increased. So high degree of protein binding makes drug long acting. That is the another significance of plasma protein binding. Generally expressed plasma concentrations of drug refer to bound as well as free drugs. So whatever concentration, plasma concentration which is expressed normally, it contains both the forms of drugs, bound form as well as free form of the drug or unbound form of the drug. Degree of protein binding should be considered while deciding concentration of drug in vivo from the concentration of drug that are active in vitro. What is this in vivo or in vitro? In vivo means whatever experiments which we are doing inside the body, these are called as in vivo, and in vitro means whatever the experiments which we are doing outside the body, these are called as in vitro experiments. Because when we are doing in vitro experiments, that is experiments outside the body, we are using various physiological salt solutions which does not contain plasma proteins. But whatever results or findings we get, if we are using these findings in vivo, and if that drug we are using in vivo, that is inside the body, then while calculating dose we should consider plasma protein binding of that drug, because drug may bind to the plasma protein which is not used in vitro experiments. So that plasma protein binding should be considered while calculating dose of any new drug if we are using it in vivo. Next significance is that plasma protein has binding sites for many drugs. One plasma protein may has binding sites for many drugs. Similarly, one drug can bind to many sites on plasma protein molecule or albumin molecule. At the same time, more than one drug can bind to the same site. So, because of these binding abilities, there are chances of production of displacement interactions among drugs binding to the same site. Drug which is having higher affinity will displace the drug with lower affinity if these two drugs are taken simultaneously or concurrently. Chances of increase in the concentration of free form of lower affinity drug are there, and because of that there may leads to toxicity of that lower affinity drug, because its free concentration can be increased, so it may leads to the toxicity. For example, phenylbutazone and salicylates, they displaces tolbutamide. So if phenylbutazone is taken with tolbutamide or salicylates, these are taken with tolbutamide, there are chances of increase in toxicity of tolbutamide because free concentration of tolbutamide can be increased, and side effect or toxicity of tolbutamide is severe hypoglycemia may be produced. Another example is that indomethacin displaces warfarin from protein binding, and because of that free concentration of warfarin it is going to be increased, and it may lead to toxicity of warfarin, that is bleeding tendencies can be increased or hemorrhage may take place because of this interaction. So displacement reaction is again a very important significance of plasma protein binding. Now, hypoalbuminemia is a condition in which albumin level or concentration of albumin in plasma is reduced. Most of the drugs are distributed by binding with plasma albumin. Already we discussed that. Majority of drugs are binding to the plasma albumin. And if albumin concentration is reduced, albumin is not available in required quantity for binding with the drugs, then also there are chances of increase in free form concentration of these drugs which are having ability to bind with the albumin. And because of increase in free form concentration of these drugs, there are chances of production of toxicity of these drugs. So that is again the important significance of plasma protein binding. Now next factor we are discussing which affects the distribution of drug is pathological conditions. There are various pathological conditions which may affect distribution pattern of drugs. Congestive heart failure alters distribution of water inside and outside of the cell, so that water distribution is changed, and because of it drug distribution can be affected. Uremia affects permeability of the membranes, it changes the permeability of membranes, and because of that also distribution can be affected. And third condition, important condition, that is cirrhosis of liver. It produces hypoalbuminemia, which reduces plasma protein concentration and decreases metabolism of drugs. And because of all these conditions, there are chances of accumulation or increase in concentration of free drugs in the blood or body, which may leads to toxicity of these drugs. So various pathological conditions also affects the distribution of drug, and in these conditions we should reduce the dose accordingly. Another factor which affects the distribution of drug is different barriers present in our body. Already in my previous video named biological membranes and transportation of drugs, we had discussed main barrier which drug has to cross is biological membrane or cell membrane. But there are some another barriers which are present in our body or human body which affects distribution pattern of various drugs. These barriers are blood-brain barrier and placental barrier. We will discuss impact of these barriers on distribution of drugs one by one. First, we are going to discuss about blood-brain barrier. Capillaries in brain are having some structural difference than normal capillaries. In these capillaries, endothelial cells are tightly arranged with one another, and these are covered with glial cells or choroidal epithelium. Thus, these capillaries lacks large intercellular spaces or pores which may be present in normal capillaries. So in normal capillaries, pores are present, while in capillaries which are supplying blood to brain, they are not having these pores. These capillaries are also covered with neural tissue again. So tight arrangement of endothelial cell, that is the first difference. Second, glial cells or a choroidal epithelium covering is another difference, and third difference is that these capillaries are covered again with a neural tissue. So tight arrangement of endothelial cells, choroidal epithelium and neural tissues, all these together constitutes a very tough barrier which is called as blood-brain barrier. This barrier is lipoidal in nature. It means that it limits the entry of lipid insoluble drugs like streptomycin or neostigmine in brain. So drugs like streptomycin or neostigmine can enter in the normal capillaries through the pores, but these drugs cannot enter into the brain by crossing blood-brain barrier. Only lipid soluble drugs can penetrate blood-brain barrier and have action on the central nervous system. The blood-brain barrier affects distribution pattern of various drugs. Another important barrier we have to discuss is placental barrier. Placenta is the barrier present between mother and fetus in womb. Here in the animation you can see where this placenta actually presents. It has two parts, with maternal portion, that is portion of mother, and second part, that is the fetal portion. Placental membrane are also lipoidal in nature, that is it allows free passage of lipophilic drugs only or lipid soluble drugs only, while placenta restricts the hydrophilic or water soluble drugs. It cannot allow to cross water soluble drugs. It serves to limit or restrict exposure of fetus to drugs administered by mother. So that for that this placenta is there. So whatever drugs which are taken by mother, their effect cannot be produced on fetus. To restrict that entry, placental barrier is present in between mother and fetus. Even though this placental barrier is lipoidal in nature, if lipid insoluble drug is present in high concentration, or mother is taking these lipid insoluble drugs for long period and that drug is present in maternal circulation, mother's circulation for long duration, there are chances of entry of this lipid insoluble drug also into the fetus. Thus, this placental barrier is an incomplete barrier, as it is not tough barrier like blood-brain barrier. Blood-brain barrier does not allow entry of these lipid insoluble drugs, but here if concentration of lipid insoluble drug is more, or if lipid insoluble drug remains in the maternal circulation or blood of mother for long duration, there are chances of crossing of this placental barrier, and that's why placental barrier is an incomplete barrier. It is not complete barrier, and almost any drug which is taken by mother can affect fetus, and if drug enters in the fetus, it may produce effects in the fetus too. Example of the drugs which are entering into the fetus through the maternal circulation are morphine and tetracycline, which may produce various hazardous effects into the fetus. So these are the various factors affecting distribution of drugs. Now it is time to summarize. In this video we had discussed about definition of distribution of drugs, then we had discussed about factors affecting distribution of drugs, and finally we had discussed significance of plasma protein binding. Thank you for listening me patiently. If you like this presentation, please click on subscribe button and bell icon to get notification of further videos. Like it and share it to your dear ones. If you have any queries, write me on my mail address which is given in the video. Thank you once again.